Once upon a time, in the ancient land of Israel, there lived a mighty man named Samson, known for his incredible strength and long hair. He was a bit of a local celebrity, though he had a knack for getting himself into sticky situations. One sunny afternoon, Samson was hanging out with his friends when they started teasing him about his latest escapades. "Samson, you're the strongest man alive, but can you take on the Gates of Gaza?" One friend joked. Samson, always up for a challenge, puffed out his chest. "Of course! How hard can it be?" Determined to prove himself, Samson strutted off to Gaza. Upon arrival, he found the city gates towering before him, a massive wooden structure reinforced with iron. He scratched his head, realizing it might not be as simple as he thought. But hey, what's an adventure without a little challenge? With a grin, he approached the gates and gave them a good tug. Instead, they creaked ominously. Samson took a few steps back, gathered all his strength, and charged at the gates with a mighty roar. The gates shook but remained firmly in place. Frustrated, Samson decided to change tactics. He looked around and spotted a couple of goats grazing nearby. An idea sparked. He grabbed the goats and tied them to the gates, hoping they'd pull them down with their grazing. The goats, however, had other plans. Instead of pulling, they bleated loudly and ran off, dragging the gates along with them. The people of Gaza rushed out to see what was happening, and when they saw Samson with the gates trailing behind him, they burst into laughter. Samson, realizing how silly he must have looked, couldn't help but chuckle too. All right, he called out. "Let's try this again." He positioned himself once more in. With a mighty heave, he lifted the entire gate off its hinges. The crowd gasped in awe as he hoisted it above his head, striking a pose. With a mischievous grin, he decided to make his exit by walking toward the hills, gates in hand. The townsfolk cheered, some even joining in a playful chant, "Samson the Strong, Samson the Brave." As he reached the hilltop, he finally dropped the gates with a thud, creating a mini earthquake that sent a flock of birds flying. Samson turned around, his chest puffed out, feeling like a true hero. That day, Samson learned that strength isn't just about muscles. It's about having a good laugh and not taking oneself too seriously. And from then on, every time someone mentioned the Gates of Gaza, they couldn't help but chuckle and remember the day Samson turned a simple challenge into an unforgettable adventure. And so, the legend of Samson continued, not just as a mighty warrior, but as a man who knew how to have fun.